Hello friends, so today's video is going to be my pregnancy update for 31 to 32 weeks. So this one is happening a little bit sooner, but that's because I've had a little bit more appointments that have happened and I can just quickly update you guys on everything right now. This pregnancy has been a whirlwind, as we all know. It's not really like, I feel like my pregnancy updates really aren't much about my symptoms. It's more so about what is going on with baby and my body and all that fun stuff. So I'm first gonna go into my symptoms and then we'll go into the other stuff that's been going on. So first up, number one, insomnia. It's still sticking around. I have horrible insomnia in pregnancy. It's completely normal. It's completely normal with Riley too. I honestly, like a week before I find out I'm pregnant, that's when I stop sleeping. That's how I kind of like know when I'm pregnant, is from that insomnia that I get. And I don't sleep a full night of sleep the entire pregnancy. It's just how it always is. It sucks. For instance, this morning, I had to be up at 5:30 for a doctor's appointment, and I woke up at 4 because I had to go to the restroom because I go pee multiple times a night. So I wake up multiple times a night. I woke up at 4, and usually if I'm waking up that late, like in the morning at 4 o'clock, I don't fall back asleep. Like it's impossible for me to fall back asleep because my mind is just going into so many different directions. So I woke up at 4, went to the restroom, could not go back to sleep, kind of hung out until my alarm went off, and then was like, okay, let's start the day. So yeah, I've been going since 4 a.m. right now. That's just kind of like what I do. I try to take a nap as much as I can during the day, but it is kind of hard if I'm trying to juggle, like trying to get a lot of like things done before I have to pick her up from school. So the biggest thing is I try to get a nap in if I can. I try to make that a priority. If not, sometimes it doesn't work out and then I'm like struggling until bedtime, but it is what it is. Anyways, that is like my first symptom. My second symptom is I go pee all the time. Like I said, I am constantly going to the bathroom, but that's because I also like baby's right there, and if she starts doing some like rolls and whatnot and kicks, I'm like, oh, that makes me have to go to the bathroom even more. So yeah, I'm constantly going to the restroom. I also drink a ton of water, so that's also contributes to it. Number 3, as you can tell, I am so out of breath. I am so out of breath. It's gotten worse. If I sit here and like do a talking video like right now, it gets me so winded. So I'm very out of breath, which is, again, normal. I am starting to finally swell right now. I can see it in my hands. My hands are starting to get puffy. My feet are starting to get puffy. If I sit like this for too long, my feet start swelling up even faster. So very normal again for me. It was the same way with Riley. Definitely swelling right now, and I know it will go away probably a few weeks around after I deliver. It takes about like a few weeks to a month or so to really lose all that water weight and all that water that you're retaining. That's what I discovered with Riley. So I already know how that's gonna go. So yeah, just swelling right now. And then you can definitely start seeing it more in my face. You can see it in my lips. It's crazy how much later this one came with my swelling. With Riley, I started swelling pretty early on with her at like 17 weeks. And I've always been someone who swells. Like that's just me. So it's always been very normal. So I was kind of surprised that I didn't swell till so late in this pregnancy, which is crazy. Like I can still wear tennis shoes. What's another thing that I've been noticing? So the other thing I've been noticing a lot in the last couple of weeks, my hunger. I am so hungry. It's crazy. It's like when I entered that 3rd trimester, my appetite just went through the roof. Like I am starving, and I eat dinner, right? And I go to like lay down in bed because I usually get into bed right after I put Riley to sleep. I work on my computer. Like that's my downtime. And I love to go in my bed and work because I can move up the legs and stuff. And that's what I need right now for my feet. And anyways, so I get into bed, I'm working. I'm like, I even look over at Joel. I'm like, I'm so hungry. Like I feel like I did not even eat dinner. And I'm just like, I just want a bowl of cereal. I just want something fruity and light and fresh. Like even just yogurt and fruit. Like I just want something. Like I love sweets. So I'm even loving ice cream. Like it just hit me, and I'm like, I was never this way with Riley. Like, I loved ice cream with Riley in the 3rd trimester. I remember when that came on, but I never had to eat at night. And this one, I'm feeling like I'm like needing to eat at night. It's crazy. It's just very different, and not every pregnancy is different. So I definitely noticed my appetite has just gone through the roof, which, ugh, I'm gonna pay for it afterwards, but I'm just gonna have to work my butt off to get the weight back off again. Yeah, so like weight gain, I don't track my weight at all. I just don't like to do it. I don't like to look at a scale. I've never been that way. I know what mindset it would put me in, and it's not a healthy mindset, so I avoid looking at the number. I think I'm pretty much, I know I was less than what I was with Riley. I probably have caught up by now, to be honest, but I'm not worried about it. I feel like I was so worried about it with Riley in the beginning because I never had a baby before, but I know what to expect now. Like, one, I know my weight's not going to go back to what it was before, like instantly. It's not going to do that. You are going to lose about 25 to 30 pounds of water weight in baby and placenta and all that stuff, like within the first month, which I know. And then what's ever left over is really what you gained. That's going to be the hard part. I remember with Riley, it took me a bit to figure out like how to get rid of that weight. And I found what works, and it was a keto diet. That thing like made me drop weight like that. And then I was doing Pilates like 5 days a week. But the biggest thing was the keto diet. That's what did the best for me. So I know I'm probably gonna go back to doing that again. Like after a month, like postpartum or so, I'm gonna give myself some time. I wanna establish my milk supply, and I'm not gonna be stressed out about weight. Like I just know I'm gonna lose it. So I'm not gonna be stressed out about it. It's gonna happen when it happens. And I just have a completely different mindset this time around. So I feel a lot better and not stressed about it, which I like. So I think it's because I know what to expect already, and I know that I've done it before, so I know I can do it again. Okay, so now on to the other things that are going on with my pregnancy. So as we know already what I've been through, I like to do these little updates just in case if there's anyone new in here. But we already knew I had a cervical polyp, which caused bleeding in the beginning. Then I had a subchorionic hemorrhage, which caused more bleeding. The last bit of bleeding that I had was between like 15 to 17 weeks. So I haven't had any bleeding since then, which is really good. So happy about, because bleeding right now would not be good. Like I would be right into labor and delivery like instantly. So yeah, so I had that subchorionic hemorrhage between 15 and 17 weeks. That caused me to get an ultrasound done at a high-risk specialist, and they caught my VCI, which is a Velamentous cord insertion. I always want to say Velamentous, but it's Velamentous, I believe, cord insertion, where it's very rare. It's more common in people who do IVF. I didn't do IVF. We conceived naturally. It's more common with people that do IVF or have twins. It's very rare in single pregnancies. So very rare. It's just basically where the cord inserts into the placenta. So her cord inserted, I guess, from the side, which can also cause her not to get as much nutrients. So you have to really monitor their growth with that, because it can cause growth problems. So we've been monitoring that, and she's been growing on track for every single one, which is really good. Like, so she's getting her nutrients, she's doing very well. But that's like the one thing that we have to keep watching on. And then also you have to be careful with how you like deliver the placenta, because the cord doesn't have a protective like covering to it. So they can't pull on the cord, so they have to do it differently if it doesn't come out on its own. So yeah, there's things like with that. So you just have to really watch for the VCI, just because it can cause other things. But her growth has been great. So we did a growth ultrasound. That's why we had to go back to the high-risk doctor about 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. And we had to check her growth. And there they found that I had low amniotic fluid. So basically my fluid levels, like a normal range, I think is like what, 8 to 15 or something like that. I was at a set where they told me in there I was at a 7. I looked at my chart after it because they send everything to my app, and I looked on there and I was actually a 7.9. So it was 7.9. She was concerned about it because she's like, okay, we don't want it to get to a 5 or lower. Like that's where we have to really watch it. So she was concerned about it being that low. So she's wanted me to go back in there in a little under 2 weeks to re-measure the fluid to make sure everything was okay. Because if the baby doesn't have the amniotic fluid, the baby won't be able to survive. So, and then also, if a baby doesn't have that much amniotic fluid, it could be a total normal healthy pregnancy and it's just low amniotic fluid, or it could be because of their kidneys or their bladder. So something could not be working right. So far with her, kidneys and bladder look perfect. Also her breathing looks perfect because they, babies, they don't breathe in there, but they practice breathing. So what they do with the BBP ultrasound is they actually monitor and watch how their stomach goes in and out. So they want to see that they're practicing breathing. So she's doing that, which is great. Everything looked good except for the amniotic fluid. So we scheduled that appointment. I already had an appointment with my with my OBGYN, with my doctor, the following week. So I called in and I was like, okay, I'm concerned about this. Like, I haven't heard from him yet. He hasn't said anything to me yet because I never got a chance to talk to him. And then I got a call back from the nurse and she's like, oh, he wants to do an AFI on you before your appointment. So she scheduled it like literally like the morning of my appointment with him. So that way I would go into the ultrasound and then I would go in with him right afterwards. Well, I did all that and I went with him right after. He goes, I actually wanted you to come in last week because I really wanted to see like how much it was like changing. He goes, I would not have scheduled you an AFI today and then had you do another BPP on Friday because this was on a Tuesday. So he goes, there's not going to be much change and I really wanted to see it like each week. My luck, a nurse dropped the ball on that one. So anyways, I did the AFI and she measured everything, checked my fluids, all that, and my numbers actually ended up coming back at 11.8. So I got higher, which is great. So, we didn't know if like maybe things were mismeasured at my other appointment with the high risk ultrasound tech or whatnot. Like, we don't know what was going on, but I guess also dehydration can change it too. But I feel like it was like really drastic. But I do drink a lot of water anyways. My doctor told me, he goes, honestly, you don't have to go to your Friday appointment if you don't want to. If you do, it's totally fine. And I was like, I still just want to go, I just want to like double check on things because also with the same ultrasound tech that I did at my doctor's office for the AFI on Tuesday, I did a different ultrasound with her, a growth ultrasound with her about a month or so ago. And she told me that I didn't have a VCI. She's like, I don't see the VCI here. So I was getting like a lot of mixed things, like the inconsistencies. But then when I went back in to my other ultrasounds with the high-risk doctor, each tech told me, yes, there's a VCI. Like, this is where it's at. You can see it. I've had it verified by like 3 different techs now that I do have it. So I know I have it. So I went in this morning to the high-risk doctor, the perinatologist, and we did another BPP where they check fluids, breathing, brain, kidneys, bladders, heart. They check everything again. My numbers came back between 11 to a 12. They didn't give me an exact number. She says that you're just between 11 and a 12. She goes, that's completely normal. She goes, this is great. She goes, I honestly had a feeling your numbers were going to go up, but with your VCI, I wanted to be safe. She goes, I wanted to be able to catch you if you were going to go on a downward turn early. And I said, that's totally fine with me. I go, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So thank you for that. I go, do you think I have to come back in here at all in the future? And she's like, no. She goes, your doctor might want to do another growth ultrasound with you because of that VCI in about 3 to 4 weeks, but he can easily do that at his own office. So she's like, everything looks great. Everything looks healthy. Everything is perfect. So she goes, it's good news. So I'm like, yay! Like, please, can we just enjoy the last month and a half of this pregnancy? Like, I would love that right now. I would really love that. So yeah, I have a feeling like if I had to guess when this little one's going to come, she's probably going to come about 37, 38 weeks, the same time that Riley did. And I think she's going to be about the same weight too. I think she's going to be right around there. That's my guess. And she was measuring today at 4.7 pounds. At my appointment with the high-risk doctor a week and a half ago or like 2 weeks ago, she was measuring at 4.3 pounds. So we did the math and everything. So if she made it to 40 weeks, she'd be like 7.5 pounds, which I know I'm not going to make 40 weeks. I don't know. I just get this gut feeling. Like, I just know when she's going to come, and I think it's going to be, I feel like it's just going to be the same as Rye. If she comes around the same time as Rye, she's going to be about the same weight as Rye too. So it'd be interesting to see about her length and all that. If I make it to 40 weeks, I'm going to be shocked. I'll be very shocked, but we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you guys updated. I have a lot more appointments just with my doctor coming up, just because I'm getting towards the end. And when you reach about 36 weeks, you start going in there weekly to monitor everything. So I'll keep you guys updated with everything till the very end. And yeah, I'm very excited. I have a lot of videos planned for this channel right now for getting ready for labor, getting like hospital bag, postpartum, newborn like clothing, newborn must-haves. Like, there's so much that's going to come at you here on this channel that I'm so excited about. So definitely turn notifications on. Follow me on Instagram at Madison Miller. That's where I post. Like, whenever I upload, I let you guys know on Instagram stories. So just keep up to date with Instagram stories, and you'll be really in tune with everything. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for all your support. I talk to a lot of you guys through DMs on Instagram, and it means the world to me. So thank you so much. And thank you for being on this journey with me. It's been a roller coaster, so it's nice to not have been alone during it. But anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.